into reading. Step 4. Hans Christian Andersen's The Little Mermaid. Retold by Deborah Hotzig. Far away, at the bottom of the sea, lived the Sea King. He lived with his old mother and his 6 mermaid daughters. The youngest was the most lovely of all. Her skin was like a rose. Her eyes were deep blue. And she had the most beautiful singing voice on land or sea. Like all mermaids, the little mermaid had no legs. Her body ended in a fish's tail. The mermaids had a wonderful life. All day long they played and sang. But the little mermaid was happiest when her grandmother told her stories. She told all about the world of humans above the sea. When you are 15, you can swim up and see it yourself, the grandmother said. The little mermaid could hardly wait. At night she stood by her window and gazed up through the water. She dreamed of seeing the golden sun and purple clouds, the deep green forests and splendid palaces. At last the little mermaid turned 15. Her grandmother gave her a long string of pearls to wear. The little mermaid kissed her grandmother goodbye. "I'll come back soon," said grandmother. "I will," said the little mermaid. And she swam up through the water, swift and clear as a bubble. The little mermaid put her head up out of the sea. In front of her was a big ship. She swam to the window to look inside. She saw a big party with many people. The handsomest of all was a young prince. She could not take her eyes off him. Instantly, there was a loud clap of thunder. Lightning filled the sky, and the seas began to rise. A terrible storm raged. The waves slapped the prince's ship harder and harder until the great ship broke apart. The little mermaid saw the prince fall into the sea. "The prince will drown," she cried. "I must save him." The little mermaid went diving down to look for him. The little mermaid found the prince. She swam up through the water with him. She held his head above the sea and took him to shore. She gently put the prince on the sand and kissed his forehead. Then the mermaid swam and hid behind a large rock. "I cannot leave until someone comes to help him," the little mermaid vowed. Soon a pretty girl came along the beach. She had deep blue eyes. The prince woke up and smiled at the girl. He didn't smile at the little mermaid. He did not know that it was the little mermaid who had saved his life. He did not know she even existed. The girl led the prince away. The little mermaid felt so sad to see him go. She swam back home full of sorrow. Days and weeks went by, but the little mermaid did not feel better. She could only think about the prince. She missed him so much. She found out where he lived. The prince lived in a wonderful white palace by the sea. Many nights the little mermaid swam near the palace. She swam so close. She could see the prince looking out his window at the sea. How she longed to be near him once again. The little mermaid loved the world above the sea more and more. "Our grandmother," she asked one day, "can people live forever?" "No," said her grandmother. "People die, as we do. But when mermaids die, we become foam on the water. Humans have a soul that lives forever. Could I get a human soul? Asked the little mermaid. Her grandmother said, only if a human loved you with all his heart and married you. Then his soul would flow into your body. He would give you a soul and still keep his own. That night the little mermaid could not sleep. You must win the prince's love and marry him, cried the mermaid. Then I will have a soul that will live forever. Maybe the sea witch can help me. The sea witch lived in a house made of the bones of drowned sailors. Hundreds of sea snakes filled the garden. When the witch saw the little mermaid, she said, I know what you want, a pair of human legs. Then you can walk on land and win the love of the prince. The mermaid nodded eagerly. You will be sorry, said the witch. But I will grant your wish. I will make a magic drink for you. You must swim to land and drink it. Then your tail will split in two, and you will have human legs. It will hurt terribly when you walk. Are you ready for that?